coming to you live from the sunny shores villas in St Petersburg, Florida. It's the 10 Point Podcast. My name is Bruce, and every 10 or 11,000 years, I make a horrible mistake. Joining me in the pool on this week's podcast, first, watch out, that dolphin looks pretty horny. It's Chris. And secondly, he'll make your old ballsack shrivel up. It's Andy.
Oh, God.
Yes, some choice lines taken out of the film there. We're the 10 Point Podcast. You can find us anywhere you get podcasts, and you can find us on YouTube. We are 10 Point Podcast over there as well. That's all letters, no numbers, so the word 10 Point Podcast. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us everything you've got in order to get people to see us more and give us money. You can get in touch with us on social medias, Facebook and on Twitter, 10 Point Podcast over there as well. Send us a message, send us a review, send us a selection, send us a hello, send us a funny GIF, anything like that, anything to get us interested. Either way, anyway, you can join our cult at 10pointpodcast.com. We have the actual proper words on our website. Nothing fancy. We are the 10 Point Podcast, 10pointpodcast.com.
Yeah, we pay for shit, unlike all these other rejected podcasts.
Exactly, yeah. But we're not on Blogspot or anything like this. We have our actual own podcast. Go over there and you can join the cult and donate over there. If you wish, all donations are accepted. And we may review a film on the podcast if you donate and give us a selection. We do have a lot to get through, as you may have noticed the wheel on the last episode. So, speaking of a lot to get through, we have to get through what we've watched in the last week before we get on to the first point. So, what has everybody watched in the last week? Normally, I do a little pre-interview and find out if someone's seen something brand new, but I've not done that this week. And I myself have not seen anything brand new. So, has anybody else seen anything brand new?
I've seen brand new stuff for me.
There you go. Have you seen anything brand new for everybody, Andy?
Right. Red Notice.
Ryan Reynolds. Can I guess what you've seen that was going to be Red Notice? Tell us about Red Notice, Andy.
What film? I might be a bit biased here, but it's near perfect.
Is it as good as what everybody else? Because there's been a lot of mixed reviews, I've heard.
Well, if you like Ocean's 11 and don't like Ryan Reynolds, this is not the film for you. But if you're like Ocean's 11, it's all right, and you love Ryan Reynolds, this is the best film ever.
When I saw that film existed, I thought, right, Andy will definitely watch that in the next week, so that'll be next week. I'm thinking, will he say that's his movie of the year or his movie of all time? I couldn't work out which one it was going to be. So, is it your movie of the year, or is Free Guy still better than Red Notice? I
don't know. I mean, this does have The Rock and Gal Gadot in it, so it's like pretty good. My only I'm not going to spoil it for anybody because you just have to watch it. It's one of these films where it isn't the film you think it is at all.
I've heard
you just have to watch it. However, what really kind of lets this down is you can tell it's a pandemic film where there is some amazing set pieces with some shady ass CGI because they're not actually in that location and stuff like that. Okay. Which really lets it down. But the rest of the film's brilliant. It's up there. It's in probably top 3 films this year, I reckon.
There you go. So
I would really like to see a film that's like made with the pandemic films, like a big action film like that, be like, get back, no, stay away from me, and put a mask on and stuff like that.
Yeah, it'll come. They'll definitely.
There's none of that. You could just tell with some shady CGI. And then other than that, I'm starting the Tiger King marathon.
Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot that was
Exotic is back.
Yeah, I'd totally forgotten about it. Yeah, I knew like 2 days ago it was coming, and I'd completely forgotten.
Yeah.
So.
You should have already started. Oh, one episode straight in.
Right.
Oof.
That might be what I do after recording.
Blast that tonight as well.
That takes me back. That was the beginning of the podcast, wasn't it? That Tiger King was the thing back in that day. Yeah. Oh, I'll need to get on that this week.
The obsession we all had playing like games over the. I think we just everybody drawn Tiger King. Or
I think on the big fat quiz of the year, I'm sure there was a lot of Carol Baskin, Joe Exotic stuff on there as well. Anyway, in the last week, what I have watched, since I think Andy's that's you covered your thing.
That's the only one film anybody needs to watch this week. Red Notice.
There you go, that's the only thing. I've been the opposite of brand new. I've been firmly in the 80s. I've been watching in the last week. I watched Ghostbusters 1 and 2 because there's a new one is coming out now. I would imagine as you can watch this podcast, you can see the film Ghostbusters Afterlife. I am very apprehensive of it being any good because the most recent Ghostbusters attempt was terrible. And Ghostbusters 2 is itself actually pretty iffy when you watch it. Ghostbusters 2, it has nostalgia going for it, as in I think it was the first Ghostbusters I ever saw. So therefore, Vigo and all this sort of stuff.
It's got the best soundtrack in any film ever.
it has a good soundtrack, but it's just like 3 songs. But yes, it has a good soundtrack.
It's actually Liberty Walking, best scene ever.
I have major issues with things like that. And, at that point, I began to question. Like, I don't really know if this actually stands up when you look at it properly. The first film is perfect.
Yes.
I mean, you can't fault the first film at all. Second one has problems, and I can kind of see what they're going for. But either way, it's ingrained in my being how good Ghostbusters are. But I gave them both a watch. First one is perfect. Second one iffy. And then I actually properly sat down and watched Blade Runner, which I don't think I've ever done in my life. I actually properly sat and watched it. I could only get the theatrical cut, so therefore I have Harrison Ford talking me through his thoughts in about 33% of the film, and then there's a massive bit where he doesn't do any of that anymore, which kind of helps me. But I think I quite liked it. I know this is meant to be the maligned and it's not what Ridley Scott wanted and the other ones are better, but I quite like it. I think it's very good. I see what it's going for, but
if you watch the director's cut, it's nuts.
It's nuts.
They change everything.
The director's cut is meant to be, I think it goes theatrical directors, but then the final cut is meant to be the best one.
Yeah,
and allegedly the other cuts flat out tell you he is himself a replicant, whereas the theatrical one hints at it. It seems to be.
I've heard of it. I've never actually watched the whole thing.
You need to watch the new one now.
Yeah, exactly. That's I wanted to watch this new one, so therefore I'm ready to go. It's been about 30 years since the new one came out, so it's about time I saw it, I think. But that was it. Yeah, 80s stuff was what I've done in the last week. Again, I put off going to see Eternals again, but I will endeavour to see it and Ghostbusters in the next week. I'm not motivated to see Eternals, but at some point it'll grab me and I'll be like, kind of sort of did it. So I'm like, I want to watch some Marvel stuff again. But that's me. Chris, what have you watched in the last week?
Brace yourself, because I have watched 8 films this week. That's including Cocoon.
Oh, that's what we like to hear. I
thought I'd make up for my lack of effort last week. So I started with the Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets because it was on Amazon. I think, and Nicola had never seen it.
What a film, by the way. That's a banger.
Well, it is. Apart from that stupid love story that runs through the middle of it, it's not needed. But everything else is what the Fifth Element should have been, just scaled up to 10.
The problem I have with that film is it sets up everything and explains nothing, and they don't do another one.
Yeah.
Like the bastards.
Then I watched the recently available on Disney Plus Jungle Cruise, then Cruella. The latter was utter crap. It's pretty much the Devil Wears Prada, but Disney's version.
Right, okay.
But Jungle Cruise,
awesome. The Rock, fucking hell.
Is it worth my time? Because it's got a lot of elements I'm interested in.
100%.
Right, okay.
Oh yeah,
I'll give it.
If you like the Mummy film, I think that with The Rock.
Do you know what is the best bit of the whole film? Is The Rock's puns. He's just casually sailing through, and one night he tells a joke about his girlfriend with a lazy eye. Couldn't see eye to eye. I'm sure she was seeing somebody on the side. It's fucking hilarious.
He's a jokester, is he?
He's a jokester. It's so good. And for no reason other than that it was just on TV, I couldn't be bothered to change the channel. I watched Twins.
Right.
I haven't seen it for years, and what a banger. And I'll tell you what, Kelly Preston was not expecting to see that sort of lack of clothes at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Was it of course on TV?
It was really early.
God. Again, Twins I might not have ever seen start to finish before. I don't think I've seen, I know it, and I've definitely watched some, but I don't know if I've ever sat and watched the whole hour and a half, 2 hours in one go.
I kind of sat there because I thought, I'm sure there's supposed to be a sequel coming to it.
There is, yeah.
But
The Rock and Kevin Hart.
Can you imagine?
Actually works for a change, to be honest.
It's pretty much the exact same thing. He gets all the muscles and he's just the vegan. The kids, for some reason, wanted to watch Spider-Man, so we gave them an education in the original Spider-Man, that is Tobey Maguire.
That holds up.
What a movie. A couple of little bits.
Second one's good, I think. The second one's really good. The first 2 Spider-Men are actually pretty good.
There's not a lot of swearing in the original ones, because nowadays there's swearing in bloody all the Marvel films now.
Bloody everything.
Yeah.
Bloody everything.
But maybe the original Spider-Man series. Then when they went to bed, me and Nicole decided to watch the Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
That is amazing, by the way.
Yeah, that's good.
It's like you could take the whole Marvel thing out of that. It's just like Crouching Tiger, again, dialed right up. It's awesome.
Like taking LSD and watching a film.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure if the final act was particularly necessary. I feel like that the tone of the film was fine, and then it went, oh yeah, dragons, and I was like, oh okay, yeah, but it worked fine. But yeah, I feel like it was. Yeah, I think me and Andy both gave it a big thumbs up when it came out and all that. But yeah, the kind of, I don't know, the martial arts film that is the first 3/4 of it is really good.
Before he gets to that last bit, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
And then it gets kind of a little bit weird.
Mm.
And I'm going to say thumbs down for this next one, by the way, because it is 100% utter garbage. Worst film I think I've ever seen in my life. Home Sweet Home Alone.
Oh God, I'm glad.
I haven't watched that yet. It's on my list.
The kids wanted to watch it because they like Home Alone films, and I'm trying not to swear, but it is ridiculously bad. I've never wanted the bad guys to. I've never rooted for them in one of the Home Alone films before. I have now. I want a little kid to get what's coming to him.
Yeah. But doesn't I have Bruce's favourite person in it? Ashley Bing, or whatever it's called.
Ashley B.
She's in it with her
playing English
British accent. Yeah,
playing English, but it's just going to be an Irish. Like, if it's going to be English, it's just going to be Irish. Whatever.
And again, is it Robert Delaney that's in it? Rob Delaney.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
really good. Like him and I can't remember what she's called. Something Schmidt or whatever it is.
You've lost me with that one.
That's not her name. She's like got red hair. She then whatever it is, but yeah, they're really good. They're nice people. I like them. But the film's shit.
Is it one of those films that's so bad that the kids don't even like it? Is it like that?
No, apart from like obviously the booby trap bits, it's got some humour to it, but the rest of the film.
You never worry about that. You keep showing your kids the shit, and that you actually get fucked up by your kids.
I've already been pushed down the stairs twice by them in 2 days, so. I'll tell you that story.
No, that's a fresh one.
I'll tell you later then. It's a belter.
Right, it's not for broadcast. Right, better crack on. We've chatted too much about not the film, which might tell you something, but we'll get into this. Point one. What is the point of the podcast this week? It's meant to be, and it is the 1985 comedy sci-fi drama Cocoon. Brought to us by 20th Century Fox. We've done a lot. Gone Girl, Alien, Office Space, Me, Myself and Irene, and Kung Pao Enter the Fist, all done by them. The SLM production group, who's never done anything, and Zanuck Brown Productions, who did Jaws earlier this season. So we've done them. So a wee bit of history with them. Based on the novel of the same name by David Saperstein, who wrote a couple other things, but nothing too massive. Screenplay was written by Tom Benedict. This was his first major screenplay by Country Mile. After this, he made The Adventures of Pinocchio and something called Zeus and Roxanne, that I think also had Steve Guttenberg in it. But again, they are the heights, so i.e. Cocoon is the height of everything he wrote. Directed by, and I've only done directing credits here because this man is a man of Hollywood, Ron Howard, actor and director. But his directing credits, this was his first major directing thing, Cocoon. And he followed up with Willow, Parenthood, Backdraft, Apollo 13, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, A Beautiful Mind, Cinderella Man, all the Da Vinci Code type ones with your Robert Langdon, I think you call him, Frost Nixon, Rush, and most recently, Solo, A Star Wars Story was the last major motion picture that he directed that I could find. That was Ron Howard, yeah, exactly. So that's your Ron Howard's, and he essentially started with this film here. The film stars, which is already a strange sentence because there's really like two films again going at once and three different kind of groups of actors all kind of. So I've kind of picked one from each. So as Art in the pensioners team, we have Don Amici, who played Art. He was the kind of the taller, skinnier of our two main pensioners. Famous for Heaven Can Wait, and then being one of the two kind of evil guys in Trading Places. That's mainly what I know him from. He then was in Cocoon and followed it up with Harry and the Hendersons and Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey. Now, I'll be honest, he started acting in like the 1940s or something like that, so there's probably a lot of big things from way back when he's actually famous for. But they were the ones that I kind of recognised, and that also the internet told me that he was famous for. As Walter, who was kind of boss alien in Cocoon, Brian Dennehy. From 10, he made his breakout role in First Blood, i.e. the first Rambo film. He was in Gorky Park and then Cocoon. After that, Silverado, Presumed Innocent, Tommy Boy, and Ratatouille. He was the voice of one of the...
I recognise his face from a film. He kind of looks like Walter did in the film, but he's a bad guy. He's like menacing.
I think he's very much always the baddie, I think, yeah. He's the guy against Rambo in the first Rambo film. He's like the racist policeman, or whatever you want to call it, that tries to run him out of town. But yeah, he's a big bad guy in these things. And my third star, as Jack Boner on the boat, Steve Guttenberg, who one of these actors took a major pay cut because he wanted to work with Ron Howard on this film, because he'd already been in the first Police Academy film by this point. So so he was in Diner before that, which was a big role for him. Then the Police Academy, first 4 of the series, I believe. Then Cocoon, and then Short Circuit, and then 3 Men and a Baby, and then later A Lady, and that's kind of where Steve Guttenberg's career ended, essentially. From that time, he made all his big films in the space of about 6 years, and then that was it for him. A lot of TV roles since then, though, and a lot of being Steve Guttenberg. They are our main stars. On a budget of $17.5 million, the film opened for $8 million in US. Its final US gross was $76 million. Worldwide, it made $85 million, which is a good 6 times its budget. Not too bad. Released 21st of June, 1985, a month after I was born, for the record. The awards season, 1986, it would then qualify for being a summer movie of 85. At the 1986 Oscars, it received 2 nominations. They were for Best Supporting Actor, Don Amici, and he won. And his, I don't know, 60-70
winning film for once.
Yeah. 70-year plus career. This was the only time he was ever nominated for anything at the Oscars. It was for Best Supporting Actor in Cocoon, and he won. And the other nomination was for Best Visual Effects, and it was also the winner. So this film won every Oscar it was nominated for in 1986.
That's a first.
Yeah, a very much
podcast first.
Yeah.
Mark it in the books.
Cocoon. 1986 Golden Globes, 1 nomination there, and I picked this one out because it was for Best Comedy or Musical. Actually was nominated for one of the major awards, but it lost to a film called Prizzy's Honour, which I'd never heard of. Jack Nicholson and Kathleen Turner.
The word musical.
Yeah, this would be the comedy rather than musical. Yeah, it lost to Prizzy's Honour. A Jack Nicholson, Kathleen Turner, where they play 2 assassins who fall in love. Apparently, was a better comedy or musical that year. Again, I believe it was a comedy. Exactly. That's when I read it, I thought, let's dismiss Lucy Smith. Yeah, but I know what you're all asking. How did Cocoon do at the 1986 Saturn Awards? That's what we're all asking. 7 nominations at the Saturn Awards that year. Our favourite awards, the only awards other than the Pointies that we really acknowledge on the book.
If this wins anything more than 3, then this is the most lucrative film I think we've ever done.
Right, okay. So first nomination, Best Writing, did not win. It lost to Fright Night, which with the original version of that, I guess. It is written by Tom Holland, which also I'm assuming is a different film. Back in 1985. Yeah, I don't think it'd be born yet.
The multiverse again.
Yeah. Anyway, Cocoon also nominated for Best Music, but it lost to Young Sherlock Holmes. Again, I think that was a film. It must have been big at the time. Nominated for Best Actor. This is a weird one. Nominated Best Actor was for Hume Cronin. I think that's how you say his name. He played Joe. So he was
the wee boxer guy.
Yeah, the wee fighter who was dying of cancer and then wasn't. He shockingly didn't win Best Actor at the Saturn Awards. He lost to a gentleman called Michael J. Fox for the film Back to the Future, which I think,
robbed.
Fair enough.
Robbed he was.
Nominated for Best Actress at the Saturn Awards, Jessica Tandy. She was Joe's wife. I don't know how she got plonked as all. She was the lead actress in this film. She also didn't win. She lost to Coral Brown for the film Dream Child, which again I don't recognise, but it was kind of around a lot of the awards that year. Best Supporting Actress as well, who was Gwen Verdon. That was Bess, who was, I'm sure you don't know who Bess was. Bess was Art's lady friend, like a dancer woman. She got nominated for Best Supporting Actress. She also didn't win. She lost to
Anne. Film before they started nominating people.
She lost to Anne Ramsey, who we've covered on the podcast before, and she won Best Supporting Actress at the Saturn Awards for a film we've covered on the podcast before. She was Mama Fratelli in The Goonies. That's what she won the Saturn for Best Supporting Actress. 2 to go nominations. Best Science Fiction Film, Cocoon. It did not win. Shockingly, Back to the Future won that one. It was obviously the best science fiction film of the year. But the best director, Ron Howard, he indeed did win. So it was not shut out with its 7 nominations. It won Best Director at the Saturn Awards of 1986.
How did Robert Zemeckis win it for Back to the Future?
I don't know. They must have thought the direction was better in this. But yeah,
Makes sense.
really a science fiction awards ceremony, which it essentially is fantasy, science fiction, horror. Really, Back to the Future should win everything it's available to win when you think about it. 2 other awards that it won were basically Ron Howard winning at things for being a good director. But yeah, successful film in terms of awards was Cocoon. Synopsis here, written by Sammy, a new contributor. I don't have one of our usual ones. Sammy has written the following. A group of aliens return to Earth to retrieve cocoons containing the people they'd left behind from an earlier trip. These cocoons had been resting at the bottom of the ocean. Once retrieved, they stored these recovered cocoons in the swimming pool of a house they'd rented in a small Florida town. Their mission is hampered by a number of elderly people from a nearby retirement community who had been secretly using the pool and who discover unusual powers from within these cocoons. And that's the best synopsis I could get. Who picked it? The wheel did. Do we know who placed it on the wheel?
No idea.
It was Chantel.
It was Chantel. Right, okay,
Yes.
that's one of Chrissy's mystery list. Do we know why Chantel recommended we watch this?
Apparently she loves this film. Like she absolutely proper. Like when I put this on, she's like laptop down, phone down, straight in watching this film. Absolutely loves it.
Oh, there we go. I had never seen it before. Anybody else?
Yeah,
I
I've seen
have
it.
like flashes of Steve Guttenberg, a boat, and glowing, but that's it. I don't remember anything else. I don't remember old people. I don't remember people.
I remember this being a Jaws ripoff, is how I remember it.
with
It
dolphins.
I don't know. I was going to go with that there. Something you'd sparked something in my mind that I've forgotten what it was. It feels like it was a film that was like made for old people. Like it was like
Yeah.
inspiring for the older generation. What channel would we have seen this on? I reckon it's an ITV movie, but I don't know if one of you guys have got a better insight. It feels like
Yeah.
I feel like at 4 o'clock on a Sunday or a Saturday
Yeah.
on ITV. I feel like that's the sort of thing you would see. So Andy, you've definitely seen it before. Did you remember
Yeah.
it vividly, or was it like you had
No.
no idea? Right.
Like this is one of these films that normally I remember shit. I had no literally I remember swimming pool, cocoons, and I remember Steve Guttenberg being the main person in this film, which I was wrong about.
It definitely is not. Yeah. Strangely, yeah. Anyway, on to point 2, the high points. What we thought the best bits and things of the film were. I don't know how to do it here. Normally the picker goes first, but we don't have one. I have nothing particularly early. Does anyone have anything?
Dolphins.
Dolphins. Okay, on you go, Andy.
I
With
love
dolphins.
dolphins. Dirty little bastards.
Yes, apparently.
I thought they were going to be like important to the story. They just swam about.
I think it was like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy type thing.
Okay.
Where
I was gonna ask,
dolphins are
were they just
whatever.
getting in the way, or were they actually helping? I couldn't tell.
I don't know. They seemed like both bellends and good guys. Like, but yeah, just any scene there was a dolphin, I was like, all right, something fun's going to happen. And technically, it was always you seen a dolphin, something fun actually did happen,
Yeah.
or some drama happened.
It felt like that the machine that was never explained what was happening.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like it was talking to the dolphin. And the dolphin was like
Yeah.
relaying messages.
And then he just had a full-on conversation with Steve Guttenberg.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely shouting abuse. Like, oh, hands off that! Don't touch that. So again, I felt like I was supposed to think the dolphins were aliens, or they're like a higher intelligent being. Is that why they're?
I
Maybe they
reckon
could
there's
understand.
going to be a lot of questions in this film, like all the way through, of what the fuck.
For the record, there is a second Cocoon. There is Cocoon: The
Yes.
Return, something like that, and it seems like
Which I have never seen.
the majority of the main people are in it, so it's not one of these cheap knockoff straight to DVD things. It's an actual remake of an Oscar-winning film. So remake, an actual follow-up, I should say. So yeah,
I actually have to watch it now. So
I think so. Yeah. But yeah, Dolphins. My first high point. I've no idea where it comes in the chronology of the film, but just the first eye test scene just amused me. I don't know why. Just the attitude that old Wilford Grimley had with his shouting out his answers for the eye test scene. I felt like it was the first time I was actually kind of having a bit of a laugh at the film. I think it was reasonably early on, but I enjoyed the first one. And then, of course, the follow-up's quite funny when he reads the entire bottom line. It's just like, boof, down, I'm off. Like the eye
right,
test.
before Chris brings it down, I'm going to bring it down even more. Okay, as a high point, right? Because Chris loves Steve Guttenberg's character's name so much. The first scene you see him in, oh my god, it's huge. Steve Guttenberg is well hung.
No, I didn't even know that was his name until like I looked at IMDb, because you don't hear his surname mentioned once. It's just
Nope.
Jack.
It's Jack,
No,
yeah.
but it's in his pants. You can see it. When he gets off of that boat and he's got them little short shorts, it's almost peeking out the bottom.
You know what, that, since
like-
you mentioned it, The scene. This is coming after like my first high point. Well, I'll just say it out. Is when the first time they swim with the cocoons and they're doing somersaults and backflips and bombs and all that. I was like, I really hope I'm that agile at that age. But then as I walked along, going, oh, I've got a boner. I was like, is that just you? I thought that was me. And they just walk along singing about the boners.
It seemed to be like, I don't know, enjoying the fact that they are all like that. I feel like the three of us, if something happened where we all became aroused at the same time, we'd be like, oh, me too. Oh, that's funny. That's brilliant. Like, I think it'd be kind of awkward.
I know, I'd actually start looking at my boner, you perv.
Yeah.
Maybe if we've not had boners in years, it would be like, oh, look at this, it's finally came back.
That's a fair point. Yeah, that might be the difference. But yeah, when they first get energized, the change in it. Even when they're going to swimming, you get a couple of days where they're just kind of trumping around like they are like old people, and then immediately they're walking different. And then is it Ben? I don't know, Wilfred Grimley, I was calling that the short guy with the tash. The way he just walks around swinging his little pool bag and all that he's so energized. It's funny. It's enjoyable. Who does it? Any other high points? I've got a couple more.
When Jack finds out that they're aliens, and you get like a little brief history lesson as to why they're there. And
leading into that, I've got Kitty takes her clothes off as my next high point. But including her.
It's technically a low point as well, though.
High point.
So close.
I'll explain later on why I would not put that as a high point.
Right. Okay. But yes, I enjoyed that scene. I thought it was good because obviously. I feel like it kind of missed a trick at the beginning of the film, flat out showing us that they were aliens. I think if they just started Steve Guttenberg struggling with his ship and all that, we'd like to rent for 27 days and him being and then the people dipping in the pool, and all of a sudden they've took these weird things out and gone in the pool, and then it's suspicious, and then we have to find out, and then that would be the reveal. They're aliens. At the beginning, they flat out kind of go, oh, this is something coming down from space here. It kind of gives away that they are aliens. So the tease would have been better, I think.
That's a low point.
Okay. The high point was, however, the first time we get to see the aliens, then, I would say.
Right.
The
high point is wrinkly old aliens in cocoons. Like, that animatronic was awesome.
It was really good, yeah.
It's kind of like a two-part high point. It's going to make me sound like really cold and callous, but just hear me out. It's when people died. I found that as a high point, like the alien dying and the lady with dementia, because they're the only two times I actually cared about what I was watching. I was like, kind of like, I can't remember what the film was, but you said you got your phone out quite early and you're playing about with it. I did that. And then I seen that, I kind of put the phone down and I sat there for like 5 minutes intently watching, and then it went away. I was like, oh, fuck this. And carried on back on my phone again. But then, like, the only two times I really like cared what I was watching about.
It was the Expendables where my phone came out in the middle. I think my phone was probably away the entirety of this film for some reason. I don't know how, but it somehow kept my attention better than the Expendables did. But yeah. I've only got one more high point. So if anyone else has got any, trust me, mine is from near the end. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot to add it in.
Yeah. Any more, Andy? Or are you out?
No, I'm kind of out. You kind of covered them all.
Okay, the spaceship. Which I kind of knew this was about aliens. When I get into my low points, I'll expand on this a bit more. But the reveal of actual full-on, there's an actual good CGI special effects spaceship in this, and they're out in the boat, and then the spaceship looks amazing, and it's lifting them up out the sea and all that. The actual finale with the ship and that is amazing. Like, I thought it was really, really good. And I did not think the film Cocoon, and you think, oh, okay, it immediately sounds like a horror film. And it's, it's not. It's a film about old people. And like, okay. And then most of it is, and at the end, it's got this full-on blockbuster finale. I was like,
I have a question though. How did his money not get all soggy when he jumped into the water and then into the boat?
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. You tell this guy to get off his boat. Here's a whole bunch of actual cash. Yeah, it's just going to get soaked. Yeah, that was my thinking. Another one was, they said they were going to rent his boat for 27 days. Was their plan always to take the boat up with them? Or was it because they had another 30 people with them that he was going to take the boat with them? I feel like the backup plan may always have been, right, you get in the dinghy, here's your money.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a lot of questions in this film, and I'm sure I'm going to come to it at the low points.
Right, we'll go
there's
to
a
the
lot of questions.
I think there's a lot of we're stepping around a lot here, so we'll go into low points. Can I start immediately with Art's red shorts on the low points? Like the first thing you see is it Don Amici? Oh, I've already forgotten what his name is. Don Amici has the shortest red shorts I've ever been put on film in the entirety of cinema, and that covers
I'm
a
going
lot
to
of
add to that with the fact that he wears socks with sandals.
Yeah, his entire ensemble for the first 5 minutes plus of this film is unnecessary. And also, for a man living in Florida who seems to walk to a pool nearly every single day, he has zero tan as well. It's like, you live in Florida. It's like, come on, what is happening here? But yeah, that's my first low point.
My first low point is right at the start as well, with the whole telescope CGI looking out the window. It looks proper bad.
It looked like they've it looked like they slid the background in behind.
Yeah, it wasn't even needed. They could have just had a window shot. It would have looked fine. But like, one of your first pivotal scenes is this, and it's like, whoa. I'm sure it was blowing people's minds back in the 1985s, but still.
You say pivotal? Was that the wee boy with the telescope? Yeah.
Yeah.
The grandson. Yeah, and then that like. It was pivotal, but it wasn't really. It just immediately afterwards just cut to the sky anyway. Like, it didn't have to have the weird CGI bit with the kid in it. It just could have been aliens are coming or not at all, which would be my preference. Chris, any low points?
Yeah, like I went into this thinking it was a horror film. I didn't see that it was a comedy about old guys. When they were in swimming with the cocoons, I thought they were going to crack one and some monster was going to come out and like just get loose and attack people. But nothing happened. Apart from they just got a little bit zest about them.
Horny.
Hi.
Oh yeah, literally.
I was in the pool, Viagra. I mean, that's what was in the thingamies, little bits of Viagra. I just got eked out. That's where we've got the Viagra pill from. I don't know.
Maybe that's, an invention of Viagra came after this.
See, my first main low point, right, is going to be nitpick the story here. The old people basically are cunts in this film. They're the bad guys.
Oh yeah, they're trespassing.
They trespassed. They then killed a whole bunch of aliens. Well, I think one actually died. Mm-hmm. But then the aliens are idiots as well because their entire... They all die.
Yeah, well, they dropped a lot of them back in the water to keep them.
Yeah, so they were trying to put some back in the water. But yeah, so that they definitely killed at least one.
Yeah.
But then the aliens have got a stupid plan. So their entire plan is, right, they have a spaceship. Okay? However, or they could have called a spaceship. So if I had landed or crash landed, whatever, as an alien, and I've got the means to call a spaceship, I'll just wait. Instead, they hire a rickety old boat to then lift their friends out with no real plan other than put it into this little unsecure swimming pool to try and bring them all back alive because they forgot they left them there for 10,000 years. It's like, what a bunch of bellends as well. Everybody in this film was a bad guy, except for Steve Guttenberg.
On that note, the scene that is behind you, that is one of my low points later on, where the full-on, like, the reveal happens where everybody in the damn retirement home finds out there's the fountain of youth in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
So 100 of them, whatever, go to the pool, and then they just start trying to crack open these things that, like, you've been told this water will make you young again. Ah, okay. Well, get these things out. Like, no, clearly that is what's making you young again. So not only that, they start just bashing it on this. Like, he could claim he was trying to take it out of the pool, but no, he wasn't.
No, he was like cracking it. He was like, let's have a big fry up.
And it's like totally unnecessary. It just ruined again. One person ruined everyone's fun.
I wouldn't get into a pool with floaters in it either. Like, no. If I seen a big brown thing in the pool, I'm not in it. That right there.
I still can't quite work out the whole process of what the aliens were doing, like you were mentioning there.
That's so what they take it out of the sea
and put it in a pool.
Yeah.
But then, so is the cocoons affecting the water, then affecting the old people, or do the aliens do something to their water to do something to the cocoons? I can't work out what way it goes, because then the cocoons, all the life force gets used up by the old people. So they have to put all the cocoons back in the water again. It's like, well, how is that water better than the pool water? And why can't you just fill the pool with that water? Like, why
wasn't the pool? Anybody who swam next to those cocoons in the ocean getting young and healthy?
Yeah, well, I guess deep down.
Well, maybe that's why the dolphins loved them so much. That's why dolphins live forever.
Maybe that's why the dolphins are there. Maybe they're really intelligent or whatever it is because they've got alien stuff on them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like
that's why they're horny
aliens
dolphins
in their heads.
the flow chart of how the cocoons actually work, it was kind of lost on me. And then I feel like, did they break open the one where they showed the wrinkly guy in it? That was it already broken open, or did they then break into it?
Yeah,
Right.
I think they kind of broke into it.
The guy just left it open.
He was live.
Yeah.
He was fucked.
It's going to skip one of my points, but I'll come back to it later on. But if a bunch of people, regardless of the age, if we had, like, friends had done it, had broken into my swimming pool and killed my alien friend and all that and sucked the life out of them, I would not be inviting them to come live with me forever.
Yeah.
Oh, that was my next point. That was my next big bugbear. Like,
what I
he
would
seemed pretty
do,
cool
though,
about the whole thing.
Yeah, is I would like invite them, kill everybody that was in the pool apart from the 3 first guys, and be like, "You're gonna live with this guilt forever. Away you go."
There'd definitely be a lot of anal probing on a daily basis from them aliens.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, we don't know what happens in Cocoon 2, but
The return of the anal probe.
if I'm one of the, like, oh damn, so we accidentally got every single one of their planned cocoons ruined to the point where one died and they've had to bin the whole road of them back in the water again, and then they come to me and say, we have this very great thing we want to give to you. No, I'm not going with you on your spaceship to wherever it is, because like, it's not like they showed you, oh, we're taking you here to this lovely place. It's a flat on, oh, we're going to this great, you'll love it, it's amazing, just come with. And that's
The
all
guy
they can
behind
do.
Andy would be the first one to get him probed, to tell you.
Oh, I mean, if I was him, everyone's getting the live forever thing. He's definitely accidentally not getting it, I reckon. It's the he's not lasting long. He's not living forever. We'll skip by most of the film, so I'll pick out a couple of my low points in the way past. I've just got the break dancing club. Was just one of the cringiest things I've ever seen in my life. Now, I was not more than a month old in 1985 when this film came out, so therefore I cannot attest to it being a thing, but I cannot even imagine a situation where everyone's lined up doing breakdancing, whether it's like robotics or spinning on their head or just flat out doing weird breakdancing moves. It looks like the worst, cringiest thing to be involved in, and I can't believe that was ever a thing. But then for it to be, these old people are now so energized, they're cool and young and all that, so they do the weird stunt double breakdancing bit, where it's quite clearly not Don Amici spinning on his head or whatever it is in the club. It's just an awful scene. But there is a redeeming feature of it had an absolutely incredible wild mullet in it. This guy had black hair that was short as short can be, and then all the way down, halfway down his neck, and he had a tash on top of it as well. So it's like a hardcore mullet did give it a bit of a
Tiger
redeeming
King-esque.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Back. Tiger King.
But I have a couple other ones. But if anyone else
final
I've
wants to-
got nothing else.
Is
Right.
the actual aliens. They just looked awful. Right. This I just kind of touched it before.
I don't think you could give aliens a low point because you don't know what aliens look like. They
No,
could
but,
generally look like that. That could be 100% accurate.
Oh, maybe it could, but if they look like that, then they look fucking awful. It looked like a person in a suit.
But then, like, I agree with Andy on this one. I'm on Andy's side of the fence rather than Chris's. They were good enough to the point where they look like they could be inside a human as well. Like, you have to think of they have to be minimalist and also small and skinny so that they could wear a human skin around about it. The eyes were weird because the first time I saw the eyes, it looked like they were kind of like when on like comedy shows when they have a photograph of somebody and then someone's eyes and mouth are made to look like their eyes.
Yeah.
It looked kind of like that, but then on closer inspection you realize, oh no, it's actually just kind of looks like that. But I thought they were okay. The floaty aroundy, like, I don't know, fire demon ones weren't that great, but the actual, when they looked like they were just kind of white things, I thought they were okay. But yeah, you're entitled to your opinion, Chris. It was a low point.
Yeah.
The scene where Steve Guttenberg's being a creepy bastard.
Racist.
Like, I was hoping for a little bit of ass and titties there, just to make it a bit more interesting.
Yeah.
But all we got was like glowing
Definitely.
thing in a fucking giant condom costume. I don't know.
I mean, he is an absolute pervert, and I reckon that little hole is there for a reason. Like, it just happens to peek into one of the bedrooms on his boat. Like,
High point though is they're the really best people at hide and seek. Apparently, they can see him through a tiny hole and a bunch of old people in a cupboard. So
my perception of that was when they glow, it lit up everything, so therefore you could kind of see everything. That's what I thought, especially with them in the cupboard, because when they lit the light on it, you could see there was like 4 guys standing in the boat. But yeah, his eyeball was a good catch, but then she was looking right at him, I guess. So I don't know how I feel about this one, but this is just my experience watching the film. Bernie and Rose, So that's the guy who complains the entire time, and his wife, who sadly passes away. They're in the film, but there's an old couple, and like they're the ones apprehensive and all that. And then randomly in like the dinner hall scene, he's just feeding her food. Like she'd been like an old person up to that point. Now Chris mentioned she had dementia.
Well, I think that's what it is. She could remember his name and other things, but she kept forgetting other people.
Yeah, which I never feel like it's never full on like she is a real issue here. So it's like all of a sudden I'm like, and obviously that scene ends up with him fighting the other guy. But yeah, it's like what she's just sitting just like that, and every so often he's feeding her food, and I was like, what is going on here? It really weirded me out. And then all of a sudden she's dying in the next scene, and she's gone. And I'm like, oh my god, well that storyline kind of came out of nowhere. Like, well, I didn't know she was unwell. It's just like she was just one of the rest of the old people. So that one was really. And then the rest of my low points goes like this: how is there still 40 minutes of this film to go? That's at the point where they mess up all the cocoons. Oh my god, what a disaster of that! And then I'll put them back in the ocean, and then they invite the old people. No, that's not that point. That's when they mess up the cocoons and all that stuff. It's still 40 minutes of the film to go. Then all right, we'll undo all that. And then we'll invite them to come on our ship, and I'm like, and then they start saying their farewells and all that. It's like, and my next note, how is there still 25 minutes of this film to go? And it's like at this point, it's a whole film has happened, yet there's still half an hour of the running time to go. And I'm like, what? And of course, it's the massive spaceship set piece thing that I was not expecting to come. So I was happy that it came, but yeah, I feel like the entire storyline was wrapped up out.
I was just expecting that beam of light just to suck them. I wasn't expecting the spaceship. But I'll give them props for that.
I thought it might be like they would just drive off into the fog and then they weren't there anymore. I thought it might be something like that. I wasn't expecting full on this. And my last low point, I still can't work out what the Coast Guard's issue was with 30 pensioners on a boat. Like,
they're not meant to be on the boat.
But they were allowed to go dance. The guys were like, oh yeah, they'll be out dancing. That's fine. Wait, they're all on a boat together. Oh my god, call the Coast Guard. Like, what is the issue? It's like,
I knew there was like a suicide pact, or they were going to go hump a dolphin or something like that.
Yeah. I feel the issue was that all the people who were in the hospital and supposed to be in the hospital beds had gone. Might have been the problem. But I still feel like they called an awful lot of like, I don't know, special services, emergency services, that's what we're looking for, to come and stop these people just being on a boat. They weren't being disruptive until the police started chasing them.
One last Steve Guttenberg afterwards. He's going to get arrested for kidnapping and stuff.
Yeah.
Where's all the people? I don't know. I fell off the boat.
Yeah, they have a mass funeral for them. Oh, there was a horrible crash and they've all gone. Like, was the official story at the funeral. So Steve Guttenberg, like you see, he wasn't there. Is he locked up for like 30 like
second one? Find out.
Yeah.
My last low point is sorry, Bruce didn't pick up. Annoying little kid.
I thought it was all right.
He's such a dick. No, he's such a dick.
So what I did find funny though is when they were playing that shuttleboard or whatever it is like the kid's always here. Does he not have a family? I think that was that Money Bernie guy.
I mean, like, it is weird for like, if not only your grandparents to be like your best friends, but like all of their friends to be your best friend. That's kind of weird when you were 10.
I think it's just him because in the Neverending Story, his best friend was a book.
I mean, that's bad. Okay,
it must have been an 80s thing.
Yeah, lonely kids. Okay, we'll leave low points there. I feel like we could pick holes in it, whatever, if we keep going. I have no idea how long we've been recording for either. Right, stats, point 4. 6 shits there were, quite a lot. Every so often. I think it was spread out as well. It wasn't all Steve Guttenberg, really had a load of them. No F-bombs, no explosions that I can necessarily remember. I don't know if there was the spaceship wasn't really exploding either.
Is a cannonball an explosion?
I guess not. Well, I don't know. It's tough. But explosions low. Deaths, I've got 3 written down, which I didn't amend. I realised that earlier on I said everyone died, but it didn't. So it's the one alien that died. It was Rose who died, and then there was a person who seemed to be in a serious kind of condition when they first showed the hospital. I'm pretty sure they were a goner at that point as well. At least that was being the implication. So probably 3 deaths, which is quite unusual when considering that it was a story about I don't know, like old people. Quotas: dead animal? No, I don't think so. I'm not counting the alien as an animal, so no dead animals. No cows, no goats. Peeing. Someone definitely went in the pool at some point. Yeah. It's normally Andy kind of stuff to cover, but yeah, I think no devils, no KKK. Although there weren't many black people in this retirement community, there's one guy. But paedophiles, there was a couple of strange sets here and there.
It was a little bit creepy, I thought.
Definitely.
there was some strangeness going on there.
Right.
But I think they would claim it was the 80s and they were just having a bit of a joke rather than actually anything going on. I counted a couple of extra bonus ones. I counted 13 cocoons, despite what other numbers everybody else was saying. At one point, main man Brian Dennehy said he would come back for 11 members of the team that he'd left behind. Well, there was 100% 13 cocoons in one. So I don't know who the other extra people were. Yeah, that was where they cracked open to look at the one. Just as that was happening, you could see 13 on screen. And I counted how many members of the Howard family were in the film. Ron directed, and then 4 people acted in it. So there were 5 members of the Howard family in this film, one way or another, if you count the director. All over the place. And then did they say the thing? Did they say cocoon?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Not as often as I thought, but yeah, single figures amount of times, at least 3 or 4. But it wasn't dozens and dozens and dozens.
Well, every time he spoke to the guy, don't touch a cocoon. Drop the cocoon. And other stuff, there's cocoons. I thought he said it loads of times.
You can go back and count, but trust me, I didn't.
Yeah.
I did not get over 5.
Yeah, you do that. Report back next week.
Yeah.
I don't want to count it. I don't want to watch it again.
Any other stats, Chris?
No, I was going to count cocoons, but then at one point it looked like there was loads and I couldn't be bothered. Then I was going to count dolphins, but then the little cheeky fuckers kept coming in and out of screen, so I was like, I can't be bothered doing that either. So I didn't count it. I think they went into the pool house like 5 or 6 times.
That's a good. Yeah, there was a lot of times it went in the pool house, and not once did they get locks on it. Most pornographic scene. Most pornographic scene, Andy.
Well, we had a close call with a genuine, almost pornographic scene, but they kind of faked out. I was kind of struggling again because old people food looked awful. There wasn't really much there. However, indoor swimming pool.
Yeah, it did look good.
That was it. Except from having the jobbies in it, but still,
Oh, yeah.
I'd love an indoor swimming pool.
Yes, pre-turds. It looked very good. I'll give you that. I think that's us for stats. On a 0.5, the 10-point podcast quiz, which is going to be a catastrophe. It's just.
No.
Did you notice or listen close enough? Unfortunately, so this could be 0-0. We'll find out. Anyone want to go first or second?
I'll go first.
Andy's turn.
Andy said he'd go first louder, so I'll go with him first. So Andy, first question for you. Some of these are a bit convoluted, by the way, so bear with me. An individual item of shopping was handed to Bernie or Rose from the boot of the car. Can you name either thing that they were given? So each one of Bernie and Rose had one specific item they needed that had fallen out of their bag into the boot of the car.
Bread.
Neither of the answers are bread. Bernie needed his...
Give him one more go. Oh, never mind. There was 2 things. I would have given him another go.
Bernie needed his X-Lax, which I believe was laxatives. And then Rose needed her Fruit Loops.
Yeah, Fruit Loops. That's
they were the important items. Chris, what embarrassing, quote, embarrassing item did Steve Guttenberg's previous customer leave on his boat?
Oh, a beach towel.
Yeah, it was just like a beach towel. It was like, oh, here, take this with you. He shouted about how embarrassing it was. It was like, it's a beach towel.
No, that's what I thought.
No, it's just like a pink and yellow thing. I don't know what his problem was. But anyway, yeah, that was the correct answer for Chris. Andy, how long did the aliens want to rent the boat for?
27.
It was 27. It was the house for 26, but the boat for 27. Good answer. Days, obviously. Chris, what 2 days of the week is dancing at the climate-controlled ballroom? I need 2 days.
Friday.
You missed both by one. It's a Wednesday and a Saturday. You can get dancing. The climate-controlled ballroom. Andy, what race are the aliens? They have a name. What alien are they?
Begins with an A.
It does.
Aristocrats.
It was. Did you catch it, Chris? I'm not giving you a point for it.
Antarian.
Antarians is correct. Yes, I'm assuming Atlantis as well. So Antarians was the name. Chris, to take a lead. The Antarians built their outpost in Atlantis.
Just on that question first.
But where were they advised to build it?
Crap, what one? South Pole.
It was the North Pole. But our main man, Walter, decided it was too cold, so he wanted to go to Atlantis instead, and it sunk. So we're tied 1-1 with one question each to go, and I don't have a tiebreaker, so get these right, one of these. Andy, how long were the cocoons in the ocean?
10,000 years.
10,000 years is correct. And Chris, you need us to tie the game. What was the name of Steve Guttenberg's boat?
The Marta?
Mara 3.
That is so close. I had Manta 3 written down as the name.
Yeah, Manta 3, that's it, yeah.
Right, okay, Manta 3. Whoa, there we go.
Defeat.
Andy wins the quiz 2-1.
Cocoon champion.
I said South Pole because they want to say North Pole because that's where Santa's from.
It's not from the North Pole, that's just where he lives.
It's Lapland. Anyway, yeah, so Andy, you got 2 out of 4 right in your quiz there.
Hey boy.
On to point 6, movies within movies. Not the easiest one for me. References that I picked up in the film / found on the internet. The film South Pacific, as in the song that Art sings, is from South Pacific. It wasn't that one, though. Laurel and Hardy were shown. I'm not sure which film it was, but yeah, a Laurel and Hardy film was shown. And Steve Guttenberg quotes Star Wars at the end when he says, "May the Force be with you." And that's it. That's all I had in terms of movies and movies. I guess maybe Close Encounters of the Third Kind is kind of similar to The Ship, maybe, but yeah, difficult. And a Never Not Good. The hardest I've ever found, Never Not Good. I can't think of anything that was Never Not Good, but I've gone for old Wilford Brimley. I thought he's amazing as the grumpy, mustachioed old man as he plays in every single film he ever is in. Apparently, he was 11 years older than the actress that was playing his daughter in the film.
So, I'll tell you what, he is going to make an appearance again soon.
Good. I'm good. Because he's always enjoyable. But yeah, so they oldified him. He's actually looked and was a lot younger than he played in the film. Chris, movies and movies.
Right. I went through a lot of actors in this. And if you found somebody, then you're more patient than I am, because I didn't find anybody.
I've got one.
Who?
There was one. The clue is going to be very much in the name here. The actor Rance Howard was in this film.
But Ron Howard didn't actually look at.
Ron Howard's father was in the film. He played the detective, as in the guy who was shouting on the boat, like, "You're old people, get off the boat." I don't know whatever his problem was. He was in The Burbs, where he played. Oh my God,
it's that one film again.
He played detective number 2. So actually, detective.
I swear, like IMDb has deleted The Burbs from the history or something. It never pops up.
Brilliant.
Yeah, he was the one, and I checked a lot of people in this film. A lot of people are kind of one and done in this film as well.
I scrolled through it and looked at him. He's called Rance Howard?
Rance Howard, yeah.
I was like, yeah, fuck it, he wasn't that important. Let's scroll past him. but it's that one film that just never pops up for me.
Blank spot. Chris, okay, better luck with this one then. Recasting us. Did you recast us into the film?
I put Andy as Ben, like the one with the moustache. Like,
yep.
He speaks his mind, and that'll be Andy at that age.
Grumpy as well.
Yes. I put you as Art, the big tall one. The voice of reason, like he is, he's quite calm and thing. And I was going to make myself the little guy, but I changed my mind and put myself as Bernie because I hate dancing. And that one scene with him and his wife at the dance is literally me and Nicola at any party. It's just like, oh, I love dancing. Yeah, well, won't be with me.
Well, see, you monster. I'm a very similar line of thinking as you. I was going to go into mine because I thought I struggled. So I went for the 3 main old guys as well, and Andy's Ben. Full stop. I made myself Joe because he was the one that was left. Because I made you Art because this gimmick even going, I think with just me and Andy, maybe the podcast listeners, of you love to have a dance to the blood rave, and it's like anytime anyone likes dancing, this image of implanted in my mind of way back on like episode 1 of the podcast where you loved putting the blood rave off and having a dance. It's just
I don't dance, I just sit there and like headbang to blood rave.
Enjoy it.
That's it. The leg goes tapping or like I'll click my fingers or something, but I won't get up and dance.
So if you hate dancing, then you're probably better with your one. But yeah, like for me to have this image of you as the opposite of what you are, it's just bizarre. Right, Andy, have you got any recasting ideas?
All right, this one's pretty easy. You take the cocoons out and you put the eggs in from Alien.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's a better film. Yeah, definitely.
What a film that would be.
Is there any crossover? I feel like there must be somebody.
Oh, yeah, there's Alien versus Predator Requiem, but there's predators and aliens on Earth. And I think some of them are in the pool.
I think it means human, like
I mean, yeah, is anyone in it? I feel like there could be an actor who's in both, but I don't think there is.
Here's a question for you. if a face hugger goes into a really old person, does the xenomorph become an old xenomorph straight away?
Yeah, it's like a shorter lifespan.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's why the ridges in their heads are not different. Smoother ones are younger.
Maybe.
So there you go. I want to see old xenomorphs in Florida.
I mean, there's plenty of alien movies. I don't know if we need to try any more experimentation with the aliens. I think we've already run that try. On to point 7, Andy's trigger warning. Andy, do you have anything that anyone needs to be, I don't know, warned about or abused for this week?
Old folks are cunts. Like, do you remember, like, when you were young, you were told, oh, treat your elders, you know, the blah, blah, blah. Like, in recent times, not so much now, because most of them, I think, have died off. However, like, when you go into a shop, you hold the door open for them. That's what you used to do. They're now, like, really aggressive. It's like, you can't hold the door open for anybody now. And it's like, they just get angry, and they used to always say, oh, yeah, you know, we did the war for you. It's like, fuck you, you caused all that shit.
I've had that before. I've held the door open, and it's like, do you not think I can hold the door myself? And I was like,
yeah,
fucking do it yourself.
They turned. Old folks are dicks. And then, like, with COVID, they don't give a shit. As soon as they got their first fucking jab and allowed back out of the house, fuck me, they were partying. Like, look at me, I've been double jabbed, I don't need a mask. It's like, fuck you, you prick. You're causing this bullshit. Now you're dying again. Old folks.
Do you know what's really hard for them to stop doing? Is giving kids sweets. You can't teach a kid stranger danger now. Because
I know.
more than once, just walking the kids to school, I've had an old person going, oh, here you go, there's a little sweet for you. And I'm like, no. You do not take it.
Just get like a water bottle and spray them. No, bad.
Yeah. There's definitely, I feel like old people have, like, they're young people, and then they become normal people and grown-ups, and then they look after kids and all that. Then it's like a tipping point where just an old person just becomes an absolute miserable bastard to deal with.
Yeah.
As that everyone has that. I don't know if it's like the last 10 years of your life or whatever. There seems to be this point where you'd stop caring about everything.
But bear in mind, right, we're talking like people that listen to this in the future are probably going to be fuck me, he's hit the nail on the head now. However, currently in this time, like, we've still got people like, okay, I get it, they've been through a world war and stuff like that when they were young and blah, blah, blah. So they've got a right to be grumpy. Like the same way as we've got a right to be grumpy because our generation have lost 2 years of our lives in a pandemic. Yeah. However, if you think about the younger people now, the ones that are like, the younger ones that are out there protesting, the other, like the slightly older bellends that are gluing themselves to a road, what are they going to be like when they're old? Fuck me. Yeah. It's going to be like a world of fucking proper cunts. So we're screwed.
And you won't be able to do anything without it causing somebody offence.
I know. So yeah, old people with that kind of policy, it's going to be carnage.
On the subject
Although, to be fair, that's when you want old people, is when you get the other people that are like that, who are chaining themselves to everything. You get the people who just don't give a fuck and be like,
yeah,
die, just do it, I don't care.
Die.
Speaking of the old people, it's something I read a theory, a very brief theory. It was like a 2-sentence theory about this film that you can actually watch it in a different version, sets like in a different way, and give it a different tone. And the theory being that the orderlies at the old people's home are actually mistreating all the old people, and that's why they want to escape. And the whole thing is about them kind of getting away and all that, and that's when they try and chase after them again. I didn't know where to put it on the podcast, and I thought if Andy struggles with the trigger warning, I thought he might, but he was a good one. I thought I'd slip it in here.
I always got a trigger.
But yeah, I just thought it was a weird thing to read. That someone looked into this film and thought, I'm getting a tone
molested by the orderlies.
Yeah, I feel like a tone here that these people aren't happy in that retirement home and all that. And I thought, I'll bring it up on here. But I could see how it would be that, because no one's
and it's fitting now in this world, because like old folks' homes are fucked because there's nobody working in them anymore. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
On a silver lining to that, the orderlies. Apparently, Joe, because he's lost an eye, or he's lost vision in one of his eyes. When he was fighting, he actually punched one of the orderlies because he's got no depth perception.
I have actually got that. I've got that mentioned coming out quite shortly, actually, Chris.
Oh,
so
right.
I'm glad you mentioned it here. Yeah, he was a Golden Glove boxer in the past or something like that. Is that what it was? Yeah, he lost sight in an eye. On to point 8, the nominations, and I'll just continue going with that because I was nominating Joe versus the orderlies as best fight, which I enjoyed anyway. But then when I found that he actually did deck, I'm assuming it's not Clint Howard that he decked. It was the other one that he decked.
I just pushed him.
So yeah, that's my best fight. We normally do most unexpected, but I did most expected, as in Clint Howard had to be in this film because it's a Ron Howard film, and every Ron Howard film ever, he sticks his brother in for one scene, so I knew he was going to show up. Worst special effects. I couldn't quite nail it down to one. I've got a lot written next to it. It might be. It could be the bit at the beginning Andy mentioned with the moon and that. There's a bit where the fog was rolling in, where it looked like it was being like live animated as it was coming forwards. It just looked really weird. Or when I don't know, the Kitty, when she summons like her spirit and it bounces around inside the pool house and then goes into Steve Guttenberg. It was just really, I didn't actually know what was happening because I knew it wasn't her. It was just a really strange scene. So they're all apparently that was Alien 6. They're all nominated for that. Most underused, though, I'm sure Andy would have mentioned this. Steve Guttenberg has to be the most underused. Not that I'm a.
I don't know. I think he was kind of used all right.
Nah.
He's like
He just did Police Academy.
Yeah, and he took a massive pay cut to be in the film.
Guttenberg.
And it's like it could have been anybody. Like, it didn't have to be a famous actor. He's barely in it. Good Richard Dreyfuss, yeah, probably should have been. So yeah, he's definitely most underused. Best special effects is definitely the spaceship at the end. I thought it was really good, especially for 1985. Worst costume, we've already mentioned it. Art's outfit with his red shorts and his sandals and socks. Best supporting actor, we're not actually mentioned too much. Brian Dennehy as Walter.
I'm nominated him as best actor.
Oh, yeah, okay. Good acting will nominate him. He played, I am boss alien, but I am in a skin I'm not particularly used to, and I know what's going on at all times. And he played everything pretty much spot on, having to cater all this in. And then, obviously, he has to cry without realizing he knew how to cry, was also a good bit of acting, in my opinion, too. So I'm nominating him. And my final one, which is only one of our major awards I've nominated, Worst Plan. Leaving the pool house unlocked the entire time and not building a fence to stop people getting in. The alien's plan was not good. Any other nominations for the pointee?
Boner song.
The boner song. Right, okay.
Best song. There we go. Sorry.
Was that it?
That's all I've got. That's all I've got.
I've got my worst costume as an alien's costume, but just pure vetoed that.
Yeah, the aliens were alright.
I won't count that. My Michael Pena award is Brian Dennehy explaining who they are and what they're doing.
Not bad.
My best set was the pool house. Or did the best effect. My best death, which I'm really sorry, Rosie, but the alien death gets it because it got me. It broke my heart. I was like, as soon as it opened up and you see this little thing dying, I was like, oh my god, got me right in the feels. But yeah, that was me.
Like you, not much in the way of nominees.
No. Well, I did have more, but
it's not like the Oscars.
No, exactly. I did feel like the actual acting in the film throughout was pretty good. I thought everyone was pretty good at what they were doing. Like, I think, in all fairness, outside of maybe the kid, I think Guttenberg might actually be the weakest actor in it. But
got a worst plan. It just popped up in my head. What's he called? Joe. As soon as he gets a lease of life, he goes out and starts pumping anything that moves.
That's the best plan, isn't it?
Well, yeah, ruined his marriage, didn't it?
Oh, it did. It didn't. Like they both got to live. I mean, he is now stuck with her forever. That might be the worst plan.
I know. Why did you do that? You wait, as soon as you get young, you start shagging anything. You got to deal with this forever.
Yeah, that might be the worst plan on reflection. Right, on to point 9. The moral of the story. What we thought the lesson to be learned from the film was. All right, on you go, Chris. What's your moral of the story?
I'm sure I just got to say one. Like, a swimming pool should be mandatory in all houses. Like council houses, mansions, and all that. They should come with a swimming pool.
Hey, what about you?
Mine's is dolphins or dicks.
I've gone the opposite because I thought my moral story has to be the thing I'll take away from this film most is anytime I see a dolphin now, I've got to think it's an alien or at least helping an alien. So I've got dolphins or aliens is what I've got as the moral of the story.
Same thing.
Yeah, they can be both.
They will hump the shit out of you.
Seemingly, yeah. Okay, on to point 10, the 10-point rating where we rate the movie out of 10. I've got Chris is going first. I have no idea reason why, but your D is before the B. So on you go, Chris.
Probably fairly obvious. I didn't really enjoy it that much. I'm not going to lie. It ran like 30 minutes longer than it should have done. The alien costumes I found ridiculous. And like the only time I actually gave a shit was when people or things died. And like I watch things. I've explained before. Like I watched things like once with no distraction, nothing. But I thought I got 10 minutes in before the phone came out, and I started finding about.
That's what your problem is. If you watched this, you'd have enjoyed it.
I did. Like, well, I normally do it. And I was watching it, and I was like, oh, "Fucking hell, this is shit." got on the phone, and then I was like, oh shit, somebody's dying. And I watched it for like 5 minutes, and I was like, I think I missed half of it, apart from the spaceship, that drew my eye in. But
right, so we need to double your score because you've only seen half the film then.
Alright, you can double it from 1 to 2 then.
Are you going to get a 1, Chris?
2.
Oh, you're going to get a 2, right?
I'll give it a 2, yeah.
Chris happy to go a 2. I can't argue too much with Chris. I feel like the first half hour of the film got me. Like, I was interested. Okay, I know, right? Okay, I'm in, and then, but it felt like it was about an hour, and that's when I first looked at the runtime. Was like, I'm not halfway through this. It was for like 28 minutes. Oh my god, how is that only half an hour? I was like, okay, there must be a lot to come here. And then the next hour wraps up the film, or like 45 minutes wraps up, and then there's just so much extra bit. Like there's a chunks of the film about characters that aren't important. Like the whole Joe thing doesn't really needed that. Like I feel there's too many characters that get too much time. The spaceship at the end pretty much gave it a point from me as well. So I've somehow given it a 3. I'm not sure if that's been overly kind, but I did pay attention the entire time through, unlike Chris, which it's a sign that it's not terrible when I can sit and watch it fully. So yeah, 3 from me and a 2 from Chris. Andy, what are you giving?
What you said, 3.
3 as well.
Too long, but it's got a story there, but yeah, too long.
That means that officially, from the 10 Point Podcast, it gets a 3. Since it's 2 3s and a 1, it would have been a 2 if Chris had with his 1.
Oh, no, yeah. I'll give it a 2.
There we go. So a 3 sounds fair, I think. I don't know how, but it's below average even for us. That was the final random wheel pick of the season. Andy said he feels like he knows what the theme is. So Andy, what's your best guess?
It's family.
That's what I've got.
Family.
Well. Yeah, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Family.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids speaks for itself. Ready or Not is about the family accepting someone in for the marriage.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump is all about him and his mum and the relationship to the mother. Amityville Horror, the family moves into the spooky house, and then Cocoon's all about like the kids and the old people and their kids and that. I did have old people with my other guess, which is a bit harsh on Rick Moranis. It's old people, but other than that, yeah, family I think is my best guess as well.
That's all themes picked this season. We've managed to do it again.
Nailed them all, and that means it's on to the final Chris's Monsters selection of the season, I believe. If you're sticking with the theme.
Yeah, it was. It should be fairly obvious because I pretty much called my theme They Mostly Come at Night, mostly. So my pick is Aliens.
Chris is finishing with Aliens after he picked Alien last season, didn't you? So there we go. A film we all know. It's been on the to-do list probably longer than any film ever, I think, this one. So not much more to say to wrap up than that. You all have 7 days to watch Aliens. I'm sure you've got it somewhere. It's a famous one. And we'll catch you next week on the 10 Point Podcast.